Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T, welcome to the Louie T Network Exclusives Kickback Session, week number 6 in the National Football League. Hey, yo. Number of topics to get to. The survivor pool is getting near its end. I told you once the Packers lost to the Browns in week 3, this shit officially got started. And now it has hit that proverbial turning point, right? Now it's down to single digits. Happened very rapidly, too. Just a month ago, week 2, just about everybody was still left. Going into week 3, the Packers lost and all hell broke loose, and we went from about 50-something down to about 9 people left. That quick. So, shout out to everybody who's made it this far in the survivor pool. We'll take a look at that here in a second. As a matter of fact, enough of me yapping. Let's get to the proceedings this evening. Let's get to the business of looking at some of the results from week 6's action here in the LTN Exclusives. And as we always do, we will start with the weekly pick'em pool. So let me grab the weekly pick'em pool, turn up the fun on you guys, and let's get this party popping, man. So as you can see, Chopping Wood won this week's pool. Let's see if I can just make this a little bit smaller. Is that possible? Feels like you should be able to do this. Nope. All right. No worries. I'll just make this a little bit smaller. There. You should still be able to see it pretty good on the screen. Yeah, that's fine right there. So Chopping Wood got it done in week number 6. Guess what? I'm chopping wood. So I'm on the board this year in week 6. This will not be the last time that I win one of these weekly pick'em pools. I'm starting to heat up at the right time. Better late than never. It's never the wrong time. As a wise man once told me, it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So I'm starting to get my life together. Now I have no other distractions. There's no survivor pool to, take up all of my attention now. This is my sole focus. I have nothing left. I have nothing left. I've been stripped of everything, butt naked. I've got nothing left. So this is it. Between my weekly pick'em and the winners and losers, that's all I got. And this is the only gratification I can get on a weekly basis is this weekly pick'em. So I got to dial in on this thing. So I was able to do that. 3 losses. No one else had 3. So I didn't even have to worry about the points. Glad I didn't, because Ricky D. Hustle, who has been on a heater here of late, had 4 losses. And had I had 4 losses with him, his points would have beaten me out. I would have been over with 53. He would have been damn near right on the head. It was 49 points. He had 48. He would have won this thing had it gotten to 4. So glad I was able to keep him at bay with just 3 losses and win this thing and get my first of the season. I should have won back in week 3. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't. And so I'm glad to get my first under my belt. And the reason I named myself Chopping Wood is because that is exactly what I am doing in the Winners and Losers League. I am currently chopping wood. I fell behind big time early in this thing, and I got a lot of work to do. Good thing is there's a lot of time to get it done. But all I can do is put my head down, grab the axe, and start chopping wood and just chop and chop. And eventually this tall ass tree that is the deficit that I face, which was 17 games just 2 weeks ago, will fall to the ground. That is the goal. So, shall we? Let's proceed. Let's move on. Congratulations to Chopping Wood in week 6. We move on to the survivor pool. And my, how this thing has turned very, very quickly. We were at, I mean, look at all this green back in week 2. Look at all this green. I mean, we were cruising. And even after week 3, even though Green Bay really set this thing off, there's still plenty of green. But as you can see, I told y'all, I've been through enough of these to know, which is why I was so disappointed I got eliminated with Arizona in week 5, because I knew this thing was going to happen quickly. And so it went from Green Bay to the Chargers in week number 4, to the Cardinals and the Rams and the Bills in week 5, to now the Eagles being the culprit in week number 6. So now we'll see what happens. So who got eliminated last week? Soul, J-Moo, Walt 260, Neil, Ron Demand, all eliminated via the Philadelphia Eagles in week number 6. And so congratulations to RJ Mac Reddy, CJ Eab, aka our guy Ed B, Silver Villains, Ricky D Hustle, Bronco Billy, Tyrant 78, Jules, Gatz, and Kevin the PRF. So I think we're down to 9, if I'm not mistaken. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That is it. Single digits. Single digits. May the best participant win. Good luck to you all. You're going to need it. And may the force be with you. This survivor pool is swift and it is vicious. And just as well as you've been doing, all it takes is one misstep, one step on a landmine, and kaboom! Your whole pool goes to smithereens. Good luck. You're going to need it. Down to the final 9. Shout out to those of you who have survived this long. And just for a reminder, $1,280 on the line. Make your best picks. Get your picks in. Make your best picks. $1,280 in the balance. Next up, winners and losers. So let's get to the proceedings here. And just a quick look at the color from this week. Amazingly enough, 100 grand, and there was one more person here, Bam Bam Bree, amazingly enough, got let off the hook somehow this week. Both of them had 9 losses, should have been sipping the piss cup over there as a duo. Instead, somehow magically, they got bailed out by Rock and Roll. I don't know how the hell Rock and Roll managed to lose 10 games in a week where if you lost more than 6, you did something extraordinarily special, and not in a good way. 6 was the maximum cutoff, right? You could easily understand how you lost 6 games last week. That was the standard going rate in week number 6. With 6 losses, 9 and 6. There were 15 games. How you managed to lose 10 and get the Piss Cup Ultra in a week like this is beyond me. But clearly, you took it a step too far. That means you probably chose the Titans. You probably chose, some teams that you got to understand what you're doing here, right? And you went for the gusto and you got the pisto instead. So Rock and Roll, let me present you with the Piss Cup Ultra. So you go ahead over here while we go over these results and you start working on this Piss Cup Ultra, and it's extremely dark for you because there's no one to share it with. The past couple of weeks, we had a VIP section for the Piss Cup last week. There were so many participants sipping on piss. We had names on desks and seats available. Like last week was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. The week before that, there were about 4 people. The week before that, there were like 2 or 3. You're by yourself. And it's extra hot and dark and acidic. Good luck, my man. You deserve it, though. 10 losses, really out of pocket this week. So let's get to the rest of the color, and then we'll go through some of these picks for the week. So shout out to the 2 PT peers, the primetime prognosticators of week number 6. Smacky, who went 12-3, gets him to 55, 37-1 on the season. Hell of a week. And I changed the color of the prognostic PT peers because you pick like that, you're on fire. So orange and yellow is the new color for the PT peers. And Ed B has now catapulted himself into 3rd place. Let's change this right here. He's now in 3rd place by himself. So, so he gets the blue designation, but there's the yellow font, and there's an orange, if you can see it, undertone under his name to designate that he was a PT peer this week. Shout out to Ed B, our guy CJ, EAB, for a 12-3 week, which catapults him all the way into the top 3 and gets some color on his name. Can I say, as someone who has had color stripped from him before, haven't had it done in a long time, but when you have color one week and then you don't the next week and you have that color stripped from you, it feels like a violation. It feels like somebody walked up to you and snatched your chain off your neck, doesn't it? It feels nasty, right? One week you're riding high, you're in the top 3, you're close to the number 1 spot, whether you got it or you don't. You're 2 or you're 3, you're tied with someone or you're not, whatever it looks like, you got color and you're feeling good. And then the next week, that color is stripped from you. It feels like a violation. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Speaking of which, someone who hasn't had that feeling each of the last 2 weeks, Ricky D. Hustle, who continues to just be on a tear. Big time week for him to remain atop the winners and losers scoreboard at 11-4 this past week. Some crazy picks like the Giants and the Panthers. Panthers weren't crazy, but they weren't supposed to win. So Ricky D's pressing all the right buttons right now. But I've seen this movie before, and eventually picks like the Titans and the Giants run out of pixie dust. He'll come back crashing down to earth. But this is a hell of a little 2-week run that he's on. And he's really been good all season long. But the 2-week run, the one that he had last week, really jumped him into the position that he's in. And then he followed it up with another gem this week. So shout out to Ricky D. Hustle for putting forth some absolute fire the last 2 weeks to put himself in a position to be 3 clear of 2nd place right now at 66, 26, and 1. Speaking of clear of 2nd place, that's where we find ourselves here talking about Mike Lowry, who also had a strong week number 6 at 11-4 as well. Jumps him into a tie for 2nd place at 63, 29-1. He's tied for 2nd with Kevin the PRF, who had a solid week, but he's starting to cool the hell off. This was a guy that had 1st place for about a good 2 to 3 week stretch, had his 1st place chain snatched last week by Ricky D. Hustle, and now he's fighting to hold on to 2nd place. With 6 losses, he is slowly but surely cooling off at 9-5. Still, with the excellent start that he got off to, still good enough for 63, 29-1, which is good for a tie for 2nd place. And as we've already talked about, 3rd place belongs solely to CJEAB, our guy, Ed B, who is in 3rd at 62, 30-1 with a big time PTP type of week at 12-3. So you go around the league real quick. Sunday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 and 6. We're gonna go through these really quickly because most people lost 6 losses this week, right? Sunday's dad, 6 losses, 9 and 6. Oh, Annapolis OG, 7 losses, 8-7. Shadow Striker, 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5. So 10-5, good week. Like I said, the cutoff for respectability this week is 9-6. 9-6. Mr. HTTR, 9-6. Rella, the defending reigning champion on the struggle bus like no other. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, her pixie dust ran out. That's essentially what happened to her. She was making incredible picks last year. And when I found out her process last year, I was beside myself. Like, this is who our champion is about to be? Someone that's picking wins based off of IG posts and, you know, logos and craziness. And I'm like, this is insanity. But she kept it up for an entire 18-week stretch. So you got to give credit where credit is due. But that shit can't last. And you're seeing it right now. She's getting her ass whooped is what's happening right now. She's getting her ass beat up pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-7. I think this is the first time she's been over 500 in the last month or so. So it's pretty rough for her here of late. I was 11-4 this week. So again, I'm just chopping wood. My head's down. And I'm just chopping wood, man. That's all I can do. Bear down. I can just tell you this. I've considerably closed the gap over the last 2 weeks. And but I got to keep going. I haven't done anything, right? I haven't done anything. So all I can say is that I've gone through the darkest period of my season, and I've come out on the other side. Now, all I can do is just try to keep stacking good weeks. That's the only thing I can try to do at this point. Mr. Bear down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9-6. Extraordinary for life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9-6. Again, that's going to be a theme of today's show with the Winners and Losers League. A lot of 9-6s. Smacky, we already talked about that, him being a PTPer this past week, 12-3. Tyrant 78, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-7 for Tyrant 78. RJ Mac Ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 9-6. Nico Smooth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-5 for Nico Smooth. Bear Lady, 616, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9-6. Rich also had a really strong week. I think 11-4, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 11-4 for Rich. I don't know how 100 grand escaped the wrath of the Piss Cup this week, but he did with 9 losses, 6-9 for 100 grand. We talked about CJEAB with his PTPer performance this week at 12-3. Good for a piece of, or good for second place, or third place, excuse me. J Camman, 99, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11-5, really good week. Ricky D Hustle, we talked about him keeping his grasp of first place with an 11-4 week. Matt Lynch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-7 for Matt Lynch this week. Mike Jink, 1, 2, 3, 4, really strong week, 11-4 for Mike Jink. Gets him to the 60 win threshold, so that's a really big week for him. Tiff Shiesty, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9-6. Boss Man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9-6. I've been killing Boss Man over the last few weeks. He's had 2 Piss Cups in the last 3 weeks. I've been giving him the business. But like I said, no one's a harsher critic of his picks than him, right? So he's like me. I get it from him. I'm a really harsh critic of myself just because he's the same way. So there's nothing I could say to him that's going to make him feel worse than he already feels about his picks himself. So 9-6 for him this past week. And with all of the nonsense he's done, even after the egregious start that I had, I've now passed him only by a game, but that's also, you know, gratification on my part to show the progress that has been made. He had me, you know, clear by like 9 or 10 games just 3 weeks ago, right? I mean, I wasn't even close to him. And now all of a sudden I've passed him. So again, how life comes at you fast, man. This league is unforgiving, and it'll chew you up and spit you out if you're not mentally tough. It can snowball on you quickly. Greg Giants, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9-6. Bronco Billy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9-6. Mike Lowry, we talked about him already. Strong 11-4 week, puts him in a tie for second place at 63, 29-1. So big week for Mike Lowry. J4 and Swag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 9-6. Mr. Ron B, 1, 2, 5. Okay, so good week for Mr. Ron B at 10-5. Soul, 1, 2, 3, 4, Really good week for Soul at 11-4, catapults him into the realm of 60 win participants. So that's a big one for Soul. Tim Santiago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good bounce back after the Piss Cup was in his possession a week ago at 10-5. Sam, our guy S Pando, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7. Sam is cooled off considerably after the hot start to the season. As you recall, Sam also won winners of the weekly pick'em pool early in the season, but he's cooled off here of late. Bricinho, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10-5 for Bricinho. Bootleg Bree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 6. Bam Bam Bree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't know how Bam Bam Bree and 100 grand escaped. 9 was supposed to get you got. You were supposed to be over there sipping piss in the shade like it was a glass of lemonade. Instead, you somehow evaded the stench of the piss. You got one person to thank. We've talked about it already, but we'll go over that person again because this is a nasty deed that was done in week number 6. Swaggy P, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 6. Nate P, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 6. Cody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 6. That's like I said, that's going to be the theme of the week. Angie M, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 6. Jordan Jones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10-5, good week for Jordan Jones. Dallas Morgan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10-5 for Dallas Morgan. Chris Santiago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nice little stretch there of 10-5s for some guys looking to bounce back after some rough stretches. Derek B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 and 6 for Derek B. Mino, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 and 6. Big B, 1, 2, 3, 4. So big week for Big B at 11 and 4. Remember when there was this stretch here of guys that were just killing it, and there was all this color here. Good to see that these guys have cooled the hell off. Collectively as a group, they've cooled off. Navy Ramjet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 6. Niners fan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. HTTR Carson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 6. Sully, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 6. Dandridge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Commander Wow. AAA Dell. So that's 7 and 8 for Commander Wow. Again, she's been on the struggle bus this year. The females have been struggling this year. They were hot like fire last year. Tyrant 78, I think, is the only female that is like holding that sector of the participants up. Last year, the females were killing us, bro. Like we couldn't get right. They was on it. This year, struggle bus. AAA Dell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10-5 for AAA Dell. Continues to really be good this season. Now hit the 60 win threshold at 61, 31, and 1. AAA Shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-5. Good week there. Coop Dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-5 for Coop Dog. Just Vaughn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So good week for Just Vaughn and Coop Dog at 10-5. Walt 260, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good week for Walt 260 at 10-5. Jules, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Jules, this is a little stretch here of 10-5, getting to double digits. It's a good stretch there. AJ Meehan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that 10-5 stretch continues. Bronco Kid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He finally broke it up, 9 and 6. He's probably about to start a 9 and 6 streak. Ty, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 and 6. Twin Lakes Dad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 and 6. NRG Mac and Cheese. I talked about having your color stripped from you. It's like having your chain snatched off your neck. NRG Mac and Cheese had color. It feels like for the last month, bare minimum, was in 3rd place last week, no longer in the top 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7 will do that to you. You got to stay away from these nastiness, right? These nasties, like rock and roll, they can rub off on you. I've talked about that. And so you got to be careful of the company you keep. And so rock and roll somehow. Speaking of rock and roll, how you doing over there, Roll? Huh? Come on, bro. Come on. You got it. Yeah, I know. I know. I've been there. Again, I have way more sympathy for you all because I've now experienced it. But you have to drink, man. You got to, bro. Yeah, I know. You earned this, okay? Like, you had no business having this. 10 losses, bro. You earned it. So go ahead. You got a few more minutes to get your life together, but go ahead and knock it back, dude. 10 losses, unreal. This was not a 10-loss type of week. You had to work hard to get 10 losses this week, and he did. So, Ron, man, and not just any piss cup. I just got to make sure, you know, ultra. That's tough to do. Tough to do in a week like this. When 9-6 was the baseline, to go a step further, take it a couple steps further and go to 10 losses, it's pretty tough. Ron, man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-5, good week. Skins win 1, 2, 3, 4, really good week for Skins win. 11-4 catapults him into the 60 win category. So he's right there sniffing around the top 3. E3 cubed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-5, solid week for E3 cubed. Gatst 1, 2, 3, 4, really good week for Gatst at 11-4. Really good bounce back. Remember, Gatst was one of the best for the first 4 weeks, and then somehow in week 5, Gatst found himself Piss Cup ultraing it up last week with the rest of the Piss Cuppies last week in that Piss Cup VIP section that we had. How Gatst had that happen to him, I don't know. That tickled me pink last week, but Gatst, in typical fashion, rebounded in a massive way, 11-4, and finds himself up over 60 wins. So welcome back to the land of the living, Gatst. Kevin the PRF talked about him already. 9-6, not a great week, but with the start that he's had, he could afford to have a 9-6 week and still be tied for second place. Mamba Fats, a 10-5 week, solid work. And then Rick Derula, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7 week for Rick the Ruler. So we are going to take a quick break, come back on the other side of this break, and get to the comment section if there's anything to get to. If not, we will make sure that Rock and Roll finishes up his piss, and then we will get out of here. Let's get a word from one of our sponsors. We'll come back on the other side. Sleeper. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips, play in fantasy leagues, and win real money on pick contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper. All right, so let's get to the comment section real quick. We really don't have much here, so this will be nice and quick. We'll get in and out. Make sure you get your picks in on time before the cutoff. All right. Thursday night football starts at 8:15. I usually shut the picks down somewhere in that 8:10 range. Get your picks in, especially if you're in the survivor pool. There's only 9 of you left. Please don't get eliminated or have the house make your pick for you based off of the fact that you didn't submit your pick. We are past the point of you missing the cutoff and then emailing me, hey, can I get this? No. It's 9 people left. Get your picks in on time or you're going to be eliminated. All right. Same can be said for the weekly pick'em. We had a great turnout last week. I'm so proud of y'all. It was $120 last week. After dropping down as low as 95 2 weeks ago, we were back over 100 last week, and then we hit our high of the season at 120. So shout out to everybody playing in the weekly pick'em. Was glad to see all of you guys turn out so that I could get the money. Now, I always tell you, when you win, all I ask is that you give me a chance to win my money back. I'm always going to do the same. So I'm going to return that favor. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in this thing every week. So you have nothing to worry about. But want to see you get into the weekly pick'em. I love the participation that we're having this year. Let's keep that up. And then get your winners and losers picks in. Last week was the worst we had in terms of, I shouldn't say that. You guys have been outstanding this year, but we did have a couple of people who did not submit picks last week, which hasn't been the case. Everyone's been really submitting their picks this year. So get your picks in. I know life be lifing sometimes, and shit happens. I'm fully aware and I get it. And sometimes the last thing on your mind is submitting picks for a league. Shit happens. But if you can get your picks in, get your picks in. So with that said, let me check on Rock and Roll. Roll. What we looking like? Okay. All right. You're making some progress. Still got about a little under a half. Go ahead, man. Keep going. Chug, chug, chug. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Hey, look, you always want to remind people when you find yourself in these types of predicaments, you did it to yourself. So just go ahead, knock it out so we can get out of here. Raynard Jackson, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB mob. You know what to do. Show Raynard some love. Welcome him with open arms. Welcome to the squad. So glad to have you on board, Raynard Jackson. So, got no more comments. So, we're about to get out of here. As soon as Roll finishes his piss, we're going to bounce. Looking forward to chopping it up with you guys next week. We're starting to get close to that midpoint of the season. If you're going to make a move, you want to do it before the midpoint, because once we get to weeks 8, 9, and 10, that's when the pack starts to, separate. Like the people that are actually going to have a chance to win this thing are going to start to create separation. So if you're going to make a move to get back in the mix, like I'm trying to do right now is the time. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Go be great. Because if you get to week 9 or 10 and you're 9, 10 games back, the likelihood of you closing that gap, slim and none. Slim and none. That's not impossible, but it's tough. But what will help is when you get all 16 games back on the slate, which won't happen until week 15, I believe, is when you get all 16 for the rest of the season. But the reason why I say that is because when you get to about week 8, 9, and 10, you start to see what teams are good and not good, which teams are about to start folding and packing it in, and it becomes harder to make up the ground. You're still in that point of the season where you never know when the Giants are going to jump up and bite somebody. You never know when Titans are going to jump up and bite somebody. So you can make those picks, and it may, come out good for you. It may not, but that's the risk you take, right? I talked about that. That's what got me earlier, but I'm not afraid, and you can't be afraid if you want to go for it, go for it. But there's a penalty to that. If it doesn't work, if it works, you look like a genius. Look at Ricky D. Hustle, right? Giants won, Panthers won. He looks like a genius. He looks like a prophet, a soothsayer, right? Those teams lose, and all of a sudden, he's probably not even in the top 3 anymore. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, right? You just never know how this thing is going to go. So he's definitely not in first place if all of that transpires. You lose those games, he's probably going to lose another 2 or 3 games. But those games won, and the momentum just continues to follow, right? At the end of the day, make that move if you're going to make it. Anyway, I digress. What we looking like, Ro? All right. Yeah, come on, bro. Don't try to give me the goblet. You still got a swallow in there, man. Go ahead and knock that back. Stop playing with me. All right. I've been there. I know it. Go ahead, man. Yes, I know it burns. All right. See, it wasn't bad, man. Says the guy who's not drinking it, right? Thank you, Ro. All right, so we can bounce. We can get out of here now. Week 6 is officially complete. Get your picks in. Looking forward to chopping it up with you guys again next week. Until then, I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. And remember, if your picks are shit, you get pissed. We'll see you next week. You guys have a good one. Peace.